I know that you clicked to come and find out if Flo has gone loco, if I've gone crazy. In these times when everyone, their aunties and uncles, are looking for a way to leave Nigeria, I am talking about moving back to Nigeria. Yeah, ever since I set foot abroad, maybe not exactly when I set foot abroad, but ever since I settled abroad, I've wanted to move back to Nigeria. The feeling has reduced over the years. You know, now I have my husband here, I have my kids here, so, you know, I have a family, my immediate family here. So I wouldn't say that the feeling is as strong as it used to be, but it was really strong. That's why I strongly believe that in these times, even when a lot of people are looking for ways to move outside Nigeria, for everyone that wants to eventually move back to Nigeria, the plan to move back to Nigeria should start from the day you set foot abroad, because this would determine the kind of things you do abroad, if you're going to invest in something permanent abroad, if you're, yeah, generally the way you live your life abroad. There's nothing wrong with, out of frustration, looking for opportunities outside Nigeria, because I tell you, a lot of people that are leaving Nigeria, especially at this time, are leaving Nigeria reluctantly. Yeah, believe you me, a lot of people don't want to leave Nigeria. A lot of people are comfortable living in Nigeria. It's either one tiny thing or the other. It's not really tiny. If it's enough to make you leave your home country, it's big enough. But I mean, it's either one reason or two reasons. That's why they are frustrated about living in Nigeria. They want to leave Nigeria. What would I still be doing abroad if Nigeria gave me the one thing and one thing only that I've been waiting for years? Today is 1st of October 2019, and this makes it 59 years that we got our independence from Great Britain. Yeah, we got our independence from Great Britain on the 1st of October 1960. And to date, government after government, regime after regime has been unable to get fixing that country right. All our leaders, all they are doing there is to take the money made from our natural resource and put it in their pockets. Still, the amount of money someone will not even use up in his or her life. Even their whole generations cannot use up all that money. Yeah, they still lost to stupor. The only thing that is still keeping me away from Nigeria, the one thing, is 24/7 electricity. The lack of 24/7 electricity in Nigeria. I strongly believe that once we have 24/7 electricity in Nigeria, every other thing will fall into place, which makes me not understand why our leaders would not give us this one amenity. This is not the first time I'm talking about lack of electricity, lack of 24/7 electricity in Nigeria. I have a whole video dedicated to ranting about lack of 24/7 electricity in Nigeria. Why is it so difficult for us? And the most annoying part of it is that Nigeria, you see that country, Nigeria, when they want something to work, when those in power want something to work, it works. Look at the financial sector. I give it to Nigerian financial sector. It has world-class operations. I've been using the Nigerian financial sector since year 2000, actively using it. And I started investing in Nigerian economy since year 2002. and it works like clockwork. Every single thing that you do in the Nigerian financial sector works like clockwork. Is it if you want to invest in treasury bills, it works like clockwork. You don't need to know anybody there. You don't need to know anybody. You don't need to pay any bribes for you to get your interest in your bank account at the right time. If you fix your money with your bank, you don't need to know anybody. Just follow the rules of not liquidating before the term and you get your interest at the end of the term. Is it when you invest in Nigerian stocks, you don't need to follow up on your dividends. Your dividends go into your bank account as long as you've done the e-dividend thing. Goes into your bank account like clockwork, like magic. You don't even need to be there. You'll be sleeping while your money is entering into your account. You don't need to know anybody. You don't need to bribe anybody. Why is it that our financial sector is top-notch, but ordinary generation of and distribution of electricity is like climbing Mount Everest for our leaders? Why is it? Once you experience 24/7 electricity, you would never want to go back. How unproductive I am when I'm in Nigeria breaks my heart. You can't even plan. You have mini heart attacks when the light blinks. Sometimes you just need peace and quiet to think. I mean, how can we continue to come up with good ideas with all that noise, with all that generator noise? A lot of people have great business ideas, but when you think that without 24/7 electricity, you cannot, there's no way you're going to make a single profit from that business, you just give up. So this is the only thing that is keeping me from moving back to Nigeria. I also believe that with all the security situations, when people are gainfully employed, a lot of people will not have time. I mean, I grew up in Nigeria. I'm almost 50. I've experienced different stages of Nigeria. There was a time when Nigerians were begged to take jobs abroad. I remember in those days, when people got a 2-1 in the university, they gained automatic scholarship to go and do their masters in the UK. And after doing their masters, they will be offered jobs because all these countries, they know the stuff we are made of up there. They will be offered a job and they will say no, and they will come back to Nigeria and become lecturers or open their own law firms or open their own companies. But nobody in Nigeria wanted to stay abroad. Of course, they want the access to the world. I mean, the ability to travel to anywhere in the world you wanted is a good thing. But nobody, if Nigeria, there was a time the Naira was stronger than the pound. But now, where are we? Nigerian Naira is crap. So tell me, what would make someone like me that comes from paradise? Yeah, because as far as I'm concerned, by geographical location, Nigeria is in a paradise. Did you see my village vlogs? Did you see the green vegetation? Did you see the topography? Did you see the weather? I was taking in the weather, enjoying the weather. Did you see the nice people? Did you see the laughter? Did you see the food? Fresh food, non-GMO food. All things being equal, what would make someone that comes from literally a paradise to move to a place like Canada that clocks -40 Celsius on the temperature scale? What would make me leave a place like Nigeria and go to Russia that records the coldest, like one of the towns in Russia records the coldest, is known as the coldest place in the world, -70 something. What in the world would make me do that if my country were good? If the people in power, because this thing is a problem we created by ourselves. What will make me leave a country like Nigeria and go to Canada if not for the people? It's people that put us in this situation. And I believe it's people that can right the situation, no matter how we run away. That's because we think of ourselves on an individual basis. You can imagine someone saying, if I can bring the whole of my family out, so every other person in Nigeria should die. The country should disappear as far as you're concerned, so long as you're able to bring. What if you yourself, you're not able to leave Nigeria? you will be part of the people that will be left behind to die, right? Even if you don't have your family, but the fact that that location, that longitude and latitude, whatever, is your home, whether you have your family there or not, you should be able to use the means available to you to fight to get this country back to normal. I left Nigeria in 2001 for the first time. Actually, that was the very first time. I left Nigeria because I got a job with an international company and they sent me to the UK. First of all, they sent me to France and I was there for 2 weeks for, you know, welcome workshop, you know, welcoming you to the company, telling you about the company. And after that, I traveled to the UK, I traveled to Aberdeen, Newcastle for more training, and finally arrived in Southeast England where I was supposed to be based. And the moment I arrived there, I wanted to go back to Nigeria. I'm telling you, I wanted to go back to Nigeria immediately because it was depressing. It was in the middle of winter. This was around November. It was cold, depressing, windy, dark. I went to work in the darkness and came back in the dark. Dawn was at 8:39 and dusk was at 3:30 p.m. So you can imagine, I was stuck in the office. We had large windows in the office. You look out the window after lunch and it's already getting dark. By 3:30, it's pitch black everywhere. It was so depressing, cold. I would wear these thick puffy jackets, yet I would still be feeling cold. The next thing I wanted was to go back home to my country. I wanted to go back home. I didn't have any family there. I didn't have any friends there. So it was utterly depressing for me. And from that day on, I was itching. I went to my manager. Can I be transferred to Nigeria? Can I change my contract? Because the first time I went to work offshore, I found out there were people that were on a different contract. They did 6 weeks offshore and 6 weeks in their home. And I told her, I want that contract so that I can rotate from Nigeria. She said, no, you're hired as this person. You do this training program for 3 years, this and that. And when she saw that I was serious, she said, okay, the only other option for you to do will be to resign from your current job and reapply into that contract. This was the same company, just a different contract. But they said, no, you can't just transfer like that. That it doesn't happen. That you've already got all this training already, even whilst you're still new in the company. I've never stopped. And towards the end of you had the initial training for 3 years. Towards the end of that training, I went to somebody as well. And I said, after my project, can I get a transfer to Nigeria? I started itching because, such things, you need to start pressing the buttons early enough. And they told me, no, we were planning to send you to Norway. Norway? I'm saying that this place is so far and so cold and you want to send me further north. No, I'm not going. Meanwhile, prior to that time, I'd been to Norway several times because our main training center is in Norway. I said, no, I don't want to live there. I don't want to live there. It's either I leave this company or, they transfer me to Nigeria like I want. So that feeling never goes away. And around that time was when I met my husband, and then the opportunity to leave that company and find a job with another company that would let me rotate from home, became more plausible. So then I left that company and found another job that would allow me to rotate from anywhere in the world. And at that time, that anywhere in the world became Spain because my husband was already living in Spain. So yeah, that was how I moved away from the UK. I still ended up here. I mean, here, I like it here. The weather is nice and all that, but it's still not home. For those who are still getting the opportunity to leave Nigeria, please, this video is not to discourage you. Please, come, as many people as possible, come. You people should come because I tell you, when you're outside Nigeria, you're working, earning money, the money you remit back to Nigeria is helping keep that country afloat. It's helping preserve our homeland from disintegrating into anarchy. Go and check the data on all these money transfer companies and you see the amount of money that Nigerians outside Nigeria remitted back to their country in 1 year alone. This data or these numbers are what is on record. We're not even talking about the ones that people hand carry. Be rest assured that the amount that is taken home by hand carry is much more than the ones that are sent via money transfer companies. Yeah. This is what is keeping that country afloat because I don't see how Government after government will come in and steal the country to stupor, and it's still standing. This is the only explanation why that country is still in existence. Believe me, whenever you send money home to your parents or relatives to pay their hospital bills, you're contributing to the economy. You're helping that hospital that they went to thrive. You're helping that hospital keep the nurses in employment, the doctors in employment. Whenever you send money to them for their upkeep, for them to go and buy food in the market, you're helping that market woman, that market man, sell his goods so that he can pay his own children's school fees. You're contributing to the economy even while being thousands of miles away. When you send money to that your relative to pay his or her school fees, you're contributing to the economy. For as many people as can come out, please come out. But I ask, for how long are you going to stay away from Nigeria? If you're already outside Nigeria, or if you're planning to come out of Nigeria, how long are you going to stay away? When are we going to sing Exodus, movement of the people back to the fatherland? When are we going to sing it? I mean, for those who really want to go back to Nigeria like me. What's your general plan? What's your end game in all this? You plan to die and be buried in the abroad? Or do you want to go back to Nigeria and die? Or do you want to go back to Nigeria while you're still young enough to, still go back to Nigeria and actively contribute to the economy, or actively contribute in building Nigeria, or actively contribute in wresting the power out of the hands of the wrong people in Nigeria? Are we just going to keep running away from Nigeria and leave those who can't run away at the mercy of the leaders? Is that what we're going to do? When are we going to go home and force them to implement these things that we see working abroad, these things that have kept us abroad? When are we going home to make sure that they put these things in place in our home? Because at the end of the day, this is our home. I don't know about you, Nigeria will always be my home. No other place feels like home. Somebody will say, start something, let's follow you. Look at Chinyere, he started something, but I've not seen any of his travels, any of his sufferings trend on social media. I've not. He's left on his own because we are not our brother's keepers. It has to be a collective effort. We need to put everything behind and support whoever comes up, dares to come up, to at least wrestle this country back from anybody that does not deliver in the first term should leave. We say nobody wants to die, we don't want to die, we'd rather trend something else. We trend gossip, we trend every other thing, but we don't trend anything that will help our country. No, we don't. Who wants to die? Who wants to die? When this life that we are in, this life that you cannot close your eyes and sleep peacefully from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. Is that one life? When you're sleeping with you, is that one even sleeping? When you close your eyes and open it like this, because you're waiting to hear, bah, 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 open the door. Is that one life? If you want to travel now, you don't even trust the airlines to maintain their planes enough to carry you safely from one point to another. Is it by road? When I showed me traveling by road, everybody was like, kidnappers, kidnappers. Is this one life? When you're held hostage outside Nigeria, you desire so much to go to your home country, but you cannot for security reasons. The comments I got when I was doing my village vlogs broke my heart. The way people are so afraid to go back to their country, not to talk of to their village. They're afraid of everybody because nobody trusts anyone. All this because of the situation of the country. How long are we going to continue to leave this country in the hands of a handful of people that are driving the country into the mud? How long are we going to continue to run away? Because at the end of the day, it's running away. How long are we going to continue to stay away for those of us that have already found ourselves abroad with dreams of moving back to Nigeria one day, but every day we keep moving the moving date? You say, okay, maybe I should stop investing in Nigeria for a while because I don't know what's going to happen in that country. Maybe I should invest more where I live because probably this is where I'm going to live forever. You're torn. You don't know where you're going. one government comes in, you're hoping and praying that it will be better than the other, because these things are so easy to do. Nigeria as a country, we are richer than a lot of all these countries where we live in. So let's start the discussion in the comments. Just tell me, what brought you abroad? Why are you still abroad? Do you have any plans of moving back to Nigeria? If yes, what is still keeping you away? You haven't made enough money, or you don't know what to do, or the situation in Nigeria, what is keeping you away? I would like to know.